Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Bible and Strength and Air Guns. Today I'm going to do a video on budget weight training equipment. Budget weight training equipment. A lot of this stuff I got for free or paid very, very little for. So, and I'm going to have a Bible verse for today. I've been missing that for a while. And 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness? So the Bible verse has a lot to do with repenting. Believers are supposed to live in a repentant state. Unbelievers that want to follow Christ, they have to repent of their sins, turn from their sins, turn from their old way of life, turn from their old friends, and follow Jesus. So, this used to be my old squat rack. These 2x4s right here. And, pick up the camera. I actually got these from work. We did a little demolition at work, and all these 2x4s were going to go in the garbage. Instead, I kept them, and I used to have them nailed in to this upper rafter up here. And that's how I did my barbell squats. And I think I might have did bench press out of these too. I might have had blocks that were lower several years ago. So the barbell I got from an auction, dirt cheap. Actually, I got most of my barbells from an auction, dirt cheap. So you can have your bar set up here. Let me turn that camera a little bit better. Oh, yeah, it's better. So, okay, if you live in a rural district, I can't even talk, most farmers are going to have some sort of sucker rod. And it's probably close to being that thick. It might be a little thinner, I don't know, but I think it'd make a great barbell. And I think if you ask really nicely, he might just give it to you. Or you can offer your services and do some work for him. So, here's a barbell that you can do barbell curls with. You can do all exercises with this. You can do rowing. You can do pressing. If you turn your hands around because you don't want to do it geek style. You can even squat off this thing. Put it on your back. Pretend I'm squatting on my power rack. It's not set up right. My next item for super cheapness, weightlifting, is a 5-gallon bucket. I know I didn't pay anything for these. These are old paint buckets I found, whether at work or alongside the highway that blew out of people's cars. If you got water, you can add weight to that and use it for an exercise. If you have a shovel, you can put some dirt in that and use it for an exercise. You can do one-arm bucket rows with this. You can do, what else? You can do curls with this. Might be hard to do presses, but if you have a pole, a dowel rod, something like that, anything that is somewhat strong, so got 2 buckets here. Right there. You can do those. You can do those. You can do deadlifts with them. See if I can do a press without destroying everything. You can do presses with them. It's not exactly perfect, but if you had to, you could put them out further and wrap some duct tape around that to secure it. So that will give your arms a little extra room. So you can do bench press off that. You could lay on your back with these buckets and do bench press with that. This is an old cheap bar from the high school that I got from the auction. I bought, I don't know, it was a handful of barbells, but it came out being like $6 a piece. Here is a little thin piece of pipe that came with a free power rack that I actually got. Here's 2 plates, 10-pound plates, and depending where you're at, it's probably usually going to be around 20 bucks, which is kind of a rip-off, but there's your barbell. You can do bench presses on your back. You can switch your hands around. You can do military presses. You can squat it. You can deadlift it. So it's really cheap things that you can do. Far as doing parallel bar dips and stuff like that, if you got some boards like this, you can lay them across almost anything. When I was in Saudi Arabia, we actually had some old 4x4s. I dug a hole and I laid the 4x4s across there, and there also was a big rock. So the rock was down a little lower and the other end of the hole was a little higher. I dug a hole and I did parallel bar dips in there. So I was just thinking about that with this board here. You could lay that across anything like that, washer or dryer. You could put totes up if they're strong enough, and you could put your boards across those and do dips. These I got from a workplace where I was at. This handrail, it was no good and it was going in the garbage, but instead it became my dip bars for at home. So there's all sorts of cheap things. If you had to, you can go outside and do chin-ups off tree branches. If you can't do full chin-ups, you can do jumping chin-ups. So that's going to help you cheat a little bit so you can get your arm and your back muscles worked. There's endless ideas, dips, push-ups. You can do push-ups. If you can't do push-ups, then you can do them off your knees. Once you get strong enough doing them off your knees, you can go on from there. There's another item I got on the floor here that I got for free. Put the camera down here somewhere. Yeah, you can guess what the camera's leaning against. So, I got this 150-pound rock out of a ditch. Now, if you can't do a 150-pound rock, you can do a 10-pound rock. You can do a 10-pound rock, eventually you can do a 15-pound rock. You get the idea. If you don't have any rocks around your area, a cheap bag of concrete at whatever store sells concrete where you're at, right there you can have yourself a, depending on the size of the bag, you could have an 80-pound bag. You could have an 80-pound rock. 80-pound rock's too heavy. Cut the mixture in half, make a 40-pound rock. Pour it inside of a cardboard box. Almost anybody can have a cardboard box. You got your buckets, spray some oil in there, pour your concrete in there. When it starts to get hard enough, you don't want it rock solid so you can't get it out. So then dump it out and let it get really super solid. Put what is it? Fiberglass in there, or wire, whatever it takes to make your concrete more solid so it doesn't break when you drop it. Those are just some ideas that I have for super cheap training. There's endless ideas out there. People before barbells worked out. You know, they did something. They lifted rocks, they lifted logs, they lifted each other. So if you like the ideas, give me a like. Subscribe. Definitely helps my channel. And hit your workouts. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me about your homemade equipment, because I think that's fun. homemade weight equipment. It's kind of that mentality, kind of like caveman. Oh, I want to lift something. So you have a great weekend. You have a great workout. Tell me about your workouts. You have a great day.